Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm just tuning in here for our kind of weekly water cooler. We took off last week, but trying to do this on a weekly basis to make this more like a nice way for the community to come in and interact with the team, ask some questions, give a quick update on what's happening, and things like that. So I guess I'll go ahead and dive into some of the biggest things that are going on right now. Obviously, yesterday we had our Coinbase listing, so that's a pretty exciting event for everyone. It's been a long time in the making. I know that it seemed pretty unexpected to the community. It was pretty unexpected to us as well, and we're now kind of in the process of making sure that things are going smoothly there, as well as on potential new exchanges such as Huobi. So that's pretty exciting for us. Going forward off of that, there are kind of a lot of things that we're constantly doing in the background relating to, exchange listings or partnerships or investigating new technology or new blockchains. So you can see these kind of things pop up suddenly. It does happen now and then. At the same time, we are constantly working on these efforts in the background. So that's pretty exciting to see. So with that being said, I'm going to dive into some of the projects that we are currently working on. I've spent a lot of the time this year talking about kind of a new focus that we're taking. Last year, we very much as a company did a lot more, let's call it product marketing, and we're kind of shifting more into traditional company marketing. And what I mean by that is we're not just building an AMM for public use here. We're trying to build out technology that people can use on multiple blockchains, more or less simple solutions to some of the Web3 problems that people are facing. And to accomplish that, you're going to see a big shift in how we talk about these things. So probably the first thing that you're going to notice here in the first quarter of 2022 is we are focused entirely on a singular project. It is chewing up a ton of time. We are bringing in a lot of new people. We are taking part in a lot of new technologies to kind of make sure that this is successful, and it's going to continue to chew up a lot of the time that we have here. That being said, I've seen some questions out there that I can kind of roll into this one as well. I've brought up a little bit about these the kind of more institutional versus retail in DeFi. It's an interesting area to focus on. I know a lot of companies are focused on solving this in unique ways, but for us specifically, we're kind of targeting more or less that whole impermanent loss issue that's out there in the market now, and it's something we want to continue to focus on at the start of this year. So new blockchains coming online, that's still a major focus for us, and that's going to be how we launch or continue to expand our product suite. We entered the year with on 10 different blockchains, and so the goal here is to continue to extend that at a rapid pace. So getting into some of the other new announcements, Discord is going to be something that becomes a major way for us to communicate. I think that one thing that we can do better as a company is provide more direct access for people to what they're trying to achieve. There are a lot of questions that come into our Telegram, on Twitter, things like that. And I see people saying things like, hey, how do I get access to the team? How do I give feedback? If I find a bug, where should I send that? If I'm having a customer service issue, how do I address that? Or if I just want to talk about it, where should I go? And so we're making some big changes in how we manage social media. So Discord is up now. We are allowing NFT holders to join it today, and that will be extending out into unified holders, and we'll continue to expand access from there. So expect to see some changes in how we talk about things on our various channels. The last kind of major thing that I think needs to be talked about here is our bridge solution. We've been talking about this for over a year, which is a long time. For those of you that don't know, we did actually have our own bridge solution on, let's see here, Ontology, Harmony, Tron for quite some time, and we did add icon there at the end, and we did actually operate that back in 2019 up until 2020. So it was very successful for us. We learned a lot there. We had a whole system and infrastructure to kind of support that. And going into this new solution, we are looking for something that we can roll out across all the blockchains that we're on today, and most specifically address some of the issues with migrating UNIFI from blockchain to blockchain. So this is going to be a bit of a unique solution in the space. It is going to allow people to use some of the things like super pairs and things like that we have out there. But I think most importantly, it's going to be a good way for people on one for those on one blockchain to participate on a different blockchain's opportunities. So it's a great feature. I do expect it to integrate with a lot of our products today and a lot of the ones that we have coming in the near future. So with that being said, guys, I could keep going here, but I think I'm going to address some of the questions that I've seen out there. I'm going to start with the ones that are posted here. I think most of these are coming from YouTube. So let me just take a quick look through. I see, for example, Hadi here is talking about, do we have a plan towards extending the UNIFI project to include more categories such as gaming, etc.? So, again, our focus is on simple solutions to Web3 problems. That's our focus here. And most of the problems that I think that people see are in the most popular segments. So DeFi, NFTs, bridging. And that's why all three of these things have been mentioned so far. So I think that a lot of the issues that people see are there. Some of the other issues that people have are they may take part in a blockchain that is not EVM compatible. That's somewhere where we have stepped in the past to offer a lot of support. So that's something we're going to continue to do in the future. In regards to gaming, we don't have anything specific there. It's an awesome potential future for Web3. I think it's a very simple solution to some of the issues that gaming has, but I don't see somewhere where we can specifically step in today. But that doesn't mean that we won't in the future to offer some support as people need it. So just going down a little more, HM actually asked a lot of questions. This was super cool. I was just going through this. For those of you that don't, those of you guys don't know, but HM actually did submit a pretty nice document. He went over a lot of questions, or he or she went over a ton of questions that they had, and put in a lot of remarks and comments on some of the things that they thought that we could do better, as well as some of the bugs that are out there. That's super helpful. We're constantly looking to improve this. We have a expanding team of developers that are constantly looking to improve what we have, and feedback is super key to that. There is a new way to offer, or there is a more direct way to offer feedback going forward, and that's going to tie into some of the ways that we communicate. But addressing some of the questions that were there, I'm going to pick out a couple of them. The first one is status of the DAO. So we've been talking about DAO operations here for a long time. And what that basically means to us is we as a company are deploying a lot of smart contracts. We have token supplies that are time locked and all these staking options, AMMs, fees, all kinds of things. We don't want to have a way to have a direct hand in those contracts. We actually want these to be DAO control because that's in the best interest of the company. It's in the best interest of the community. So it's something that we're going to highlight as important to us coming into this year. So I think that the bridge is a big piece of that because that's going to play into how a DAO can operate on multiple blockchains, and that is something that we are investigating now. In regards to how that's going to roll out, we have been rolling this out already. We have an internal kind of private version of this that we use, and we're hoping to extend that into the public realm here in the near future, probably at least a couple of months out, until we see something that people can directly interact with. The second one that I saw here, it's kind of been brought up a lot. It was just, how do we classify ourselves as a company? Are we a startup, or are we a scaling company looking for product market fit? And I think that I think that's a tough question, because I would say that blockchain itself is scaling, looking for product market fit. So you've heard me talk about this a lot, and that's that change is a consistent force in this field. We have a lot of companies that come in that say, hey, I'm going to invent XYZ, and that's what I'm going to do as a company. People have come in, they've offered staking solutions, unique smart contract solutions, blockchains that don't have smart contract solutions, all kinds of things, and lay down these really deep foundations just to find out DeFi is actually going to be pretty hot, or NFTs are going to be pretty big. Cross-chain is going to be a thing. Just to find out that the solutions that they've put in, these deep foundations that they've run and built, are going to need to be adjusted. And that's happening constantly. That's part of why we don't operate a blockchain ourselves, because we see that the industry is at a point now where it's not fully matured, where you can just say, this is how we're going to operate successfully. ETH 2.0 is probably going to disrupt that this year or next or the year after. And so I think that's a big focus that we have right now, is instead of focusing on a specific product that we're trying to fit into the market, and instead of trying to scale in the existing ecosystem, we're much more interested in the future of where blockchain is going to go, and the skills that we need to be an active leader in that future. So that's why you see us working with a lot of different blockchains. You see us working with, Icon, Ontology, and Ethereum, 3 blockchains that couldn't be more different. Totally different technologies for smart contract development, totally different communities, locations, all kinds of things. And the reason that we do that is it does increase our knowledge of the space. It does expose us to more technology, and it allows us to do things sometimes a lot sooner. For those of you that don't know, we did operate in AMM all the way back in 2019. So this has been, we've constantly been there on the edge of change and trying to find our opportunities to take advantage of those changes and make the most of it. So that's something we're going to continue to do. In terms of product market fit, we are going to have specific products. U-Trade is a product, for example, and we expect to have more of those in the future. We have one right now that we're very focused on, and it's going to have probably much less of a public impact at first, and we'll hopefully roll out a public version of it soon after. And it's going to have a big impact on how we operate our business and on how we measure success as a company. So I think in terms of this whole, are we a startup or are we trying to scale? I think that I would still say that we're more towards the startup side of that. The difference here is typically I would identify a startup as a company that maybe would be struggling to find investors, struggling to find capital, trying to find the way that they're going to work as a team. These are things we've been extremely focused on in the past year or so. We don't have investors or shareholders. We are funded enough to support ourselves for the far future, and we've been extremely focused on culture. So that's how we've been addressing it. So I'll go through a couple more questions here. Let me just take a look. I think a lot of these are comments. a second here. Okay. Okay, I see one here. Just kind of talking about BTTC by Doc Talk Productions here. Basically just asking if we're going to have a node on BTTC soon. So we were working with BTTC quite a while ago. We've been talking to them a lot. They've been through a lot of changes there. They've changed the way that their token operates. They've changed their token supply and things like that. So we are kind of on our heels a little bit with them. We do plan to operate a node on as many blockchains as we can to offer good staking solutions. And so a node on BTTC is certainly a focus that we have. But I would say in terms of soon, I don't think it's necessarily going to be that soon. That's going to be more of a question for the tech team. But I think that what this question is really about is where are we going to be offering staking solutions in the future? We currently offer those on several blockchains. Some have been extremely successful. And I think that we have quite a few left to go. The same question could be asked about Avalanche. That's also something that I would say is equally as soon as BTTC. And some of the other blockchains that we're on. So staking is still something that we're focused on, and we're going to continue to push on. So, okay, there's a good question here. Just talking about USDT on Coinbase, it's more of a comment. Just a thought on Coinbase liquidity for new investors, how to get USDT trading pair available. Yeah, so I've seen a lot of feedback about this. When we initially listed, there were obviously 3 token pairs that were out there. This is kind of the way that they determine where to kind of push us into. It doesn't mean that we can't have a USDT pair, but for those of you, at the very least for myself, in the US, there is no ability to use a USDT pair on the existing vanilla Coinbase. Coinbase Pro, sure. But that's not something that I currently have access to. So in terms of providing liquidity there, I do believe that that's a big part of how they determine what pairs are available on Coinbase Pro. And that is something, like I mentioned before, that we're very focused amongst other things. This is an ongoing discussion about liquidity, not just on Coinbase, but on some of the others, Gate.io, Huobi, things like that. We're constantly looking at these guys and trying to figure out how can we best support our tokens on those various exchanges. So it's something that we're focused on now. I don't anticipate a quick turnaround there. I would say that it could happen naturally. The community could just come in, do a ton of deposits, and it's active. That could happen. But I think that it's far more likely that we take some time and build out some nice supportive infrastructure for it. So, so Anthony is actually Anthony has been here for a long time, asking about potential partnership with Clever Wallet or listing on Clever blockchain once they're launched at the end of March. For those of you that aren't aware, we've actually worked with them since the beginning, since they first launched. They actually first launched alongside us quite some time ago. We've been an active participant in their ecosystem ever since, and we are constantly looking for how to be a good partner to those that we work closely with. Partnerships, relationships, reputation. That's a lot of why we're here today. Those 3 things match perfectly with a good community, and that's where we found our success. We didn't come in and had a ton of funding to inject in some idea and hire a ton of people and hopefully build something that works. We came in and we built good, strong partnerships. We built a good community and started to work on our reputation, and that's why we're here today. So in terms of working with Clever, absolutely, we're constantly looking to work with anyone out there, and we're looking for how we can be a more active participant in any community that's available. So that all being said, I think I'm going to close out here on Hadi's last question about the UNIFI community. Basically, what advice would you like to give for new joiners of UNIFI community? We operate a lot differently than most other, I guess, companies in our space. We tend to see the space a lot differently. We have more of a futurist mentality. We're not shooting at a target that's 6 feet away. We're shooting at a target that's maybe 5 years away. So we're working towards that future target. We have the infrastructure, we have the team, the financial ability, and the legal and regulatory support to do it. So I don't think a lot of companies can say that. There are a lot of top 100 tokens that are not listed on Coinbase, and I feel that probably a big reason for that is because they've missed one of those key things. Futurist, regulatory, legal, tax, whatever. They're not fun hurdles to get over. They're not fun. I'm dealing with them constantly, and so is a lot of our team. But I think that jumping those hurdles is what's going to make us successful in the long term, and that's the most responsible thing we could do for those that do support us. So what I would say in terms of somebody new that's coming in is you've really got to look at the team and how we talk about these things at the consistency that we've had. I'll come on here and address anything. If you guys have a question, we don't filter these. They're public there. At times I've gone through every single one of them. So I'm very, very open to addressing those. And the reason for that is because, we're going to be here. We're going to be here. We're going to continue to build. We're going to continue to innovate where we see opportunities to. And we're going to continue to be blockchain proponents in this space. So with that being said, guys, I do want to close out with one more thing. We are pretty much always hiring. We are looking for support everywhere. I know on the tech team, they're specifically looking for support in Europe. So we're constantly looking for some support there. The marketing team is looking for support here in the US primarily. That's not restrictive. We do hire outside of these two regions. But for those of you that know somebody, maybe on the graphic design side or the marketing side or development side, have them reach out, have them get in touch with us or talk to our moderators, and we would love to see some applications. So guys, how do you apply? I would say you can look us up. I think we have listings probably on LinkedIn and cryptojobs.com or something. I forgot that .io. I'm not really sure. Ask the guys on Telegram or Twitter and they will let you know. And for that, have a good one, everybody. Have a great rest of your week, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.